All the way live. Hello, everybody. This is Angelica Corral with What in the World Events, and today we have this amazing guest. This is my friend, none other than Erskine Edwards, and we're really excited to talk about how he helps people in the community. But first of all, Erskine, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do, my friend?
Thank you so much, my friend. So, my name's Erskine Edwards. I'm a 3-year financial professional. I'm your community empowerment agent, and I'm here to connect with individuals, families, and communities, just to help them learn the rules of money and how to make money work for them instead of them having to go out and break their backs to work for money.
Well, that makes sense.
Yes.
That's awesome. So, what inspired you to do what you do, Erskine?
My biggest inspiration is my mother.
Mm.
And my mother, she marched with Martin Luther King, so she
Wow,
went through the Jim Crow era
the
and
civil rights movement.
civil rights movement, the
Mm-hmm.
Jim Crow era,
Mm-hmm.
just dealing with all those different things. And
Mm-hmm.
through all that, she still had sympathy and empathy for other people and was always inclusive in everything that she did.
Mm-hmm.
So that really gave me a sense of being inclusive as I am now. That's why I'm a community empowerment agent, not just specific type people
Mm-hmm.
empowerment agent.
You
So
care about the whole community. That's awesome. I
absolutely.
see that in you, my friend.
Thank you so
And I
much.
think a lot of people see that in you too.
I appreciate that.
So, I have a question for you because I know that you like reading. What is your favorite book? As you can see, we have a lot of books here. What
Yes.
is your favorite book?
That's kind of a hard question because I have so many books that I love, and when I read a book that's really good,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of change my mind and I'm like, oh, this is my favorite book now.
Mm-hmm.
But my latest favorite book is a book my daughter actually sent to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's called uh, the Way of the Superior Man.
Oh, wow.
So the book should be called The Way of the Superior Person
Uh-huh.
because it's gender neutral. It
Uh-huh.
talks about the masculine and the feminine
Mm-hmm.
uh, qualities.
Nice.
And if one side has to overcompensate for the other side, that's when there's an imbalance and relationships don't last. You
Mm,
see, so
mm-hmm.
sometimes the woman has to overcompensate the masculine because the man is failing in that area.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and vice versa. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a really interesting concept,
Yeah.
and it put things in perspective for me that I think my daughter wanted me to see.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes with me with books, I have to read them a few times
Mm-hmm.
in order to really grasp everything that I need to grasp. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely be reading that again. But that's up there. I'd have to say
I think that's
just off the top of the head.
that's a good relationship book because you see how you can be a better person for the other person in a relationship, right? But I like that, and I agree with you in reading the book more than once because each time we get a book, right, you get something else out of it, and you're like,
Absolutely.
I didn't see that the other time, right?
Absolutely. And I think in life in general, like you said, the book teaches a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Life in general, we should always be looking for lessons
Mm-hmm.
that we can learn from.
Yeah.
And I actually have a short story about an individual I met when I was in downtown San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
a homeless guy.
Oh,
And,
really?
yeah, I
So
was actually,
this is like a community empowerment story.
absolutely, it
I
is.
was going to ask you what is community empowerment? What is community?
This is a perfect example. So I'm talking to this individual.
Mm-hmm.
He's I'd say maybe mid 50s, early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we had a nice conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and it started off of him asking me for some change.
Mm-hmm.
So, I pulled to the side and I just, asked him, just share with me what your story was. What
Mm-hmm.
happened?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he told me he has been wealthy 2 times.
Wow.
So I know he's going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the conversation that we had and him unloading what he said really gave him a sense of release.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he did make a good decision after that. And and is moving in a positive direction now.
Wow.
But in talking to him, he said that he he got sick.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of money, and he
Mm-hmm.
didn't have, proper things in place, obviously.
Like
And
insurance or something like that?
yes,
Oh,
right.
okay.
And that's what I could see, because that's, what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was telling me that, that's what I was thinking about. But he was like, I didn't have anything in place.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got sick, it depleted through all my wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And my family, the same people who I uplifted
Mm-hmm.
when I was doing well,
Mm-hmm.
they turned their backs on me.
Wow.
So, that was really an unfortunate thing for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like I just had to give him words of encouragement. So we prayed together,
Mm-hmm.
and he really touched my heart with his story. So
Wow.
that's why I use his story as a good example.
That's nice.
Yes.
That's really nice. Yeah. So let's see.
That story can really inspire somebody who's, kind of off track,
Mm-hmm.
or even me.
Mm-hmm.
If something happens with me and I kind of think that things are getting overwhelming, or I can get off track,
Mm-hmm.
I could think of stories like that, and that just really inspires me to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just about me.
Mm-hmm.
Inspire, enlighten, empower is not just about me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't go out and do what I need to do,
Mm-hmm.
then what I want to happen isn't going to happen.
That's right.
Right.
We, you're a community person. You're a people person. That's awesome, Erskine.
We both are.
I know.
I know that's why we gravitated towards each other.
I know, right?
And we're gonna make like massive impact.
Yes. I feel that. I feel that.
Locking arms together, we amplify each other's voices.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important, because we want as many people as possible to hear what we have to say. It's important.
Definitely.
Right? So,
definitely. So speaking of empowerment, do you know a success story of somebody that might have been incarcerated before and that now is doing well?
absolutely.
I'd love to hear that.
Absolutely.
Story.
So I could share my story, but I definitely like to share a story about an individual who I know personally, who he went through the federal system.
Okay.
I went through the state system.
Mm-hmm.
And the federal system is a little more lenient, and you're able to educate yourself a little better.
Mm-hmm.
So with him, he was able to get involved into the real estate.
Okay.
He started learning about it when he was in. And when he got out, he's a big guy.
Uh-huh.
So he's a personal trainer.
Uh-huh.
And he was doing that, and then also, interning real estate when he got out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
And he got in good with this firm,
Mm-hmm.
and the firm really loved him.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to get him licensed.
Wow.
They took care of all
That's nice.
Yeah, the paperwork to get his record expunged, cleaned.
Nice.
And and now he's one of their top producers.
Wow. That is a really cool success story.
And he, even when we were younger, he was a varsity basketball player, football player. So he was somebody who was of influence. He just, he got involved with the wrong people.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, Erskine.
Yeah. He caught his first charge with me. So, he kind of just took the wrong direction. But it just took him to go through that to get put on the right path. And now he's doing exceptionally well.
And now look at you.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well. So
and we talk, he tells me, even though I feel bad about the direction he went in and what he had to go through, he doesn't hold any ill feelings towards me. He tells me,
nice.
What I went through made me who I am today. If that didn't happen, there's no telling where I'd be, or even if I'd be here today.
Wow.
So.
Is that here in San Diego area?
He lives in Kansas. I grew up in Kansas.
Oh.
That's a whole nother story.
That's a whole different life right there.
It is.
Kansas.
It is. It is.
Awesome.
Flat land, really boring. Kind of nothing else but to do but get in trouble there.
Yeah, but I see the nice country attitude. Like, you have like a kindness inside of your heart. So,
Thank you. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
originally I'm from Tampa, Florida.
Oh, yeah?
And then I spent some younger years in Birmingham, Alabama. That's where my mother's from.
Okay.
So,
Wow. Yeah,
yeah,
and that's where everything was happening in Alabama.
absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. I bet she has some stories to tell.
She has some stories. I would share some of those, but then we go over the hour.
We're gonna have to feature her one day.
She knows nothing about technology. It'd have to be when I go out there to visit her.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And
where's
then
she?
we'll
Oh,
ask-
she's in
She's in
Alabama.
North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
where I moved here from, North Carolina.
All right.
I've been all over. So-
That's good.
I just haven't been out of the country yet, and I have a passport.
Well, that's next.
Absolutely.
So speaking of that, where would you like to go with your passport? What part of
That's
the
a
world?
no-brainer. The Seychelles.
Oh, wow.
That's my go-to spot, my number one.
You like the beach. You like the
Oh.
warmth.
Oh, those pictures look crazy, right?
Mhm.
You seen them?
Yeah.
Oh, that place looks amazing.
You
I
can
have
see
to
through
see
the
it.
water.
I have to see it. I have to see it for myself.
Mhm. Wow. Well,
I definitely want to go there.
you definitely have to take pictures when you go and send them to us,
Absolutely.
so we could say that's what happens when you accomplish your financial mission, which is our next question.
All right.
Why
financial mission.
Yeah. Why do people need to have a financial mission?
Well, it's kind of like the same reason why you need to have. Sorry about that. It's kind of like the same reason why you need to have a destination for you to get to your GPS.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a destination, then you don't know where you need to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a financial goal. If you say right today
Mm-hmm.
that when I retire, I want $1 million
Mm-hmm.
for retirement, you have to factor in the fact that when you retire, maybe 10, 20 years down the line, then $1 million is not going to be worth what it is today. So you have to factor that in.
Yeah, that's funny. It really isn't worth that much as it was years ago, right?
Absolutely. And it's going to be worth even less
Mhm.
10, 20 years down the line. So that's what I try to get people.
Mhm.
Well, I'll try to take the word try out.
Mhm.
That's what I'm looking to get people to look past.
Mhm.
You have to factor in inflation.
Mhm.
Inflation is involved in everything,
Mhm.
all the way down to the food we eat,
Mhm.
so it's something that we have to factor in.
Indubitably.
Absolutely. And indexed accounts are the way.
Okay.
Tax-free penalty-free accounts, that's the way. And I'm not saying this is something to go against anything that you have. It's supplemental. So you want to have multiple streams. You don't want to just rely on any one or two things. You want to have multiple things.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Absolutely.
Well, I definitely need to get talking with you because I got a mantra, or I got something in my email that said the first 4 words that you see is what you need to focus on this year, and one of them was change and power, strength, and I gotta see what the other one was.
Change, power, strength. Those are good.
I thought those were good words too, right?
Absolutely. Those are great words.
So for change, that's one of the things that I need to change. I need to really focus on my financial mission. So we're going to be doing some talking.
Absolutely. That's something we have to pay attention to,
Yeah.
so that we know that we're on track. And when we're getting off track, we know as well.
Well, yeah, because sooner or later, we are all going to need to retire.
Absolutely.
Right? So after you retire, that's when the money kind of slows down, right?
Absolutely.
So.
And then in some accounts, you're obligated to pay taxes. And, if you're paying taxes, it's not the amount of money that you think that you may have in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, again, if you have $1 million, but the tax rate is 40 or 50%, you're only going to get 40 or 50% less of whatever that $1 million is.
That's a lot.
It is.
That is a lot.
But of course, you're not taking a lump sum, so it's taxed at that rate. As you get your distributions, your payments, right? So
okay, cool. So, what are the steps that you usually go through when you help somebody with their financial mission?
So the steps we go through is usually I share with them like some goals where they share their goals with me,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm an accountability coach.
Mm-hmm.
So the best way we'll map out a plan together, something
Mm-hmm.
that something's comfortable for them,
Uh-huh.
because I don't want people to feel stressed out.
Yeah.
Something comfortable, and I'll check in with them, or they can check in with me,
Mm-hmm.
whichever is more comfortable. For some people, will be accountable for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Some people I would need to check in on. So depending on the person,
That's great.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
you know.
It's you have to be inclusive in it.
Yes,
So
that's awesome.
and then at the same time, I'll share my accountability with them as well, so that
Mm,
they're seeing me doing what I'm talking to walk, right?
that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
you have to show what you're doing as well. So that's my way of getting them going in the right direction.
You're on a
And then
mission
we just
together.
absolutely, and then we talk about building to that final destination where they want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's is $10 million. What's yours?
Mine, I'm gonna shoot for the stars. I'm gonna go for 1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah, because
Boom.
let's blow it
Boom.
up. Let's blow it up.
Boom.
Because if you go for more, this is what my mom used to always say. If you're gonna ask your dad for money, if you want $50, ask him for 100. So that's why I learned to shoot from the stars from
Yeah.
her.
You'll land on the moon at worst case, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, what kind of challenges do you see people usually have when it comes to finances?
100% mindset. And it's justly due, because there's so many quote unquote scams out there.
Mm-hmm,
In my circle, though, scam, we have acronyms.
mm-hmm,
Scam stands for someone confused about money.
mm-hmm,
So the reason why I say this is because if you really pay attention to what's out there and
mm-hmm,
what's being pitched to you, if you do your due diligence and really pay attention to not just what you see as far as
mm-hmm,
reviews of what people say, because you can look up any company, some companies that have been around forever. You
mm-hmm.
can look those companies up. People say bad things about every company.
Yeah.
So you can't really go just off of that.
Mm-hmm,
So I just encourage you to look at the company and do your due diligence. You might want to check in and look at some of their meeting rooms
mm-hmm,
and just check the ambiance, see if it's something that you are comfortable in,
mm-hmm,
the environment, and something that you like.
mm-hmm.
Because making that decision, I guarantee you, will benefit you a lot more than just going off the reviews that you see
Mm-hmm.
and opinions that people may say.
Yeah, you got to feel. I think you get a feeling about a person, right? Whether
Yes,
they're a
absolutely.
trustworthy person too. So that's another thing. But yeah, you're right. There's so many scams going around. One of my friends told me that his mom and dad had invested like
Yes.
$75,000,
Yeah.
and the persons that they invested with lost all of it. And so now he's afraid to invest money in anything because of that,
I talked to a lot of people who've gone through that. When I went to my daughter's wedding in Louisiana,
Uh-huh.
I had a conversation with several people,
Hmm.
and they don't believe in insurance because they deal with natural disasters down there,
Hmm.
and they always say the insurance companies, whether it's stories that they personally went through
Hmm.
or people who they know and love and trust have gone through, they just don't have good stories about insurance.
Hmm.
But that's where the community empowerment agent
There
comes
you
in,
go.
because the next question, right?
You gotta go like this when you say that.
But that's where we come in, because as the agent,
Uh-huh.
we're like the middle person.
Hmm.
So whenever a claim is needed, we're the ones who file the claim and get the check for
Exactly.
the people. So they don't have to have that anxiety or those worries about whether or not they're going to get what they're due.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's just another example of why it's good to have an agent.
Well, we got a few comments
Mhm.
here. Charles Phillips says, "Awesome story."
Thank you, Charles. I appreciate you.
And Dr. New says hi, so we say hi.
Hi.
And let's see, go to Costa Rica, pura vida.
Yes. I'm gonna have to
Awesome.
put that on my bucket list, definitely.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's see, we've grown here.
Oh, we're big face.
You are funny.
Big face hundreds.
So let's see. This is a really interesting conversation. I'm having a good time here with you,
So am
Ersky.
I.
This is
So
cool,
am I.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this is the first of many.
Yes, definitely. So you talked about some of the challenges that people have, and one of them is people being afraid because of scammers. All right.
Absolutely.
I think that is like
It
the
is
main thing.
mindset because the information that I share with people
Mm-hmm.
is information that's not taught in schools.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
only utilized by
Yeah.
a select few people.
Yes.
So it's not something that's widespread knowledge. And if people aren't familiar with something, 9 times out of 10, they're looking at you like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you getting out of this? You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah, you're doing this because you're going to get some money too, right?
absolutely. So, I understand it, but like for me, if I could share slightly my personal view and why I was open to the information.
Uh-huh.
When I was coming up, it was hard. I mean, it wasn't because my mom didn't make money. My mom
Mhm.
worked 3 jobs most of
Wow.
the time.
That's hard.
Yeah, that's hard. But it wasn't an income problem. It
Mhm.
was what to do with the money.
Mm.
So in retrospect, I would spend the night with some of my friends who lived in the wealthier parts of town,
Uh-huh.
and I would see how they had pantries full of food and
Mhm. Mhm.
spacious living rooms and
Mhm.
bedrooms and upstairs and downstairs, plenty of room.
Uh-huh.
And I just was like, well, how can these people do so well
Mhm.
and we're struggling so much? It's not
Yeah.
because my mom isn't working hard.
Mhm.
She worked her fingers to the bone. So
Yeah.
I just kept my mind open, and I knew there was another way.
Mm-hmm.
So
There you have it.
that's how we do. We have to have an open mindset because we can't think that everybody's putting their money in the bank. Wealthy people don't put their money in the bank.
Yeah.
They're shareholders of banks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true. Because you don't really save any money in the bank,
You
right?
don't. You
Yeah.
get 0 to 1%. That's nothing.
Exactly.
Even if you're getting 3%, that's why I talk about the rule of 72,
Uh-huh.
where you divide 72 into your interest rate.
Mhm.
That tells you how soon your money's going to double.
Mhm.
So if it's only at 3%, that's what, every 40 some odd years.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like we only got maybe 1 or 2 40.
I know, right? We better get moving really fast.
Absolutely.
So, I was thinking about investing in things, and I was looking at something on the internet about AI and how people are starting to invest in AI. That there's a small window of opportunity to invest.
Yeah.
So they say, I heard somebody say by January 9th. What day is it today?
Today's the 4th.
We better
5 days.
We better get to stepping.
The countdown is on.
So if anybody wants to know about investments, they can talk to you, right?
Absolutely.
About what they should do to invest.
Well, technically, just for legal terms, we can't really call, the insurance, we can't call that investments
Mhm.
legally.
Uh-huh.
But there are other things, AI included.
Mhm.
Those are some of those are good opportunities. That the problem is some of them aren't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
No.
just about doing, like, again, your due diligence, checking the environments and just going off of your gut, because most of the time your gut is going to tell you the truth
Mhm.
about the situation.
Well, I was cracking up because I saw something on the internet where a guy was looking at what some of the politicians at what they
Oh,
go
you're not
for.
going to talk about politics, are you?
No, I'm not going to talk politics.
Hey.
I'm just going to talk about the stocks.
Okay.
That they look at the stocks and they pick certain stocks, right? And so the guy, he was upset about that, but he said, well, why don't I just do what they're doing and pick the stocks that they're picking? Because I know if I do that, I'm going to get the money, right? So I thought, yeah, that's pretty smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't talk politics nor religion here because we're keeping it cool.
Yeah. Cool is
Because
the best way to keep it.
you know, in West Side Story they said if you want to live in this lousy world, you got to keep it cool.
Keep it
Oh, you
cool.
play it cool. I forget
Play it
exactly.
cool, keep it cool. Either way, they
Yeah.
both the same, right?
Mhm. Yeah. So, are there any programs or any resources that you suggest to people that are thinking about in either joining your program?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we have daily meetings Monday through Thursday
Mm-hmm.
where we just talk shop. We share success stories. We uplift each other. It's
Mm.
always an environment of
Mm-hmm.
pushing you forward
That's nice.
with us. So that's what a lot of people need.
Mm-hmm.
There's a saying that if you hang around 4 millionaires, eventually you'll become the fifth one.
Mm.
It's all about the soil that you're in. If
Mhm.
you're in the right type of soil, you can grow and sprout to unbelievable levels. But if you're not in the right soil, your growth is going to be limited and stunted. So that's so important.
I like your illustration there. It makes a lot of sense.
We talked about it in the audio room actually a few days ago. Actually, yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's why it was still fresh on my mind.
That's
The
the
soil.
beauty. That's the beauty of practice, right?
Absolutely.
That's you're so funny. Okay, so we talked about your travel destination. I wanted to talk about culture because I know that you love culture,
Absolutely, I
right?
do.
So tell me what it is that you love about culture. What are some of the things that you like to see, um, even about your culture or other cultures? Can you share that?
The number one thing is food.
Who doesn't like everybody's food, right?
right? Yeah. So the number one thing is got to be the food,
Mm-hmm.
and then just the level of appreciation that they have about life in general.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's what I'm most excited about to go. With going traveling internationally,
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many places that are deprived from so many things that we just take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to be involved in shared atmosphere with people like that so that I can humble myself to that point and bring that back, because I want to package that. I want to get around that, package that, and I may, end up moving there eventually.
You
If
never
it's,
know.
yeah, kindred souls, kindred spirits, it may,
Mm-hmm.
drive me to move out there.
What were
So
you thinking? It sounds like you got a place.
Ghana is a place that I'm really leaning towards.
Mhm.
Nigeria is where my DNA lines up most closely
Ooh,
with.
nice.
I did a DNA search. I
Mhm.
did a DNA thing with 23andMe.
Mhm.
I didn't believe it. I was like almost 93% African,
Wow.
and I was like 0.05% other, and I don't know what the heck other is.
Mhm.
Like, what is other?
That's awesome, man.
But it really gave
You
me
got to
a
go to the
sense.
you got to go to the motherland.
Yeah, absolutely. It gave me
Mhm.
a sense of pride to know, that my DNA is so strong,
Mhm.
and that I can probably trace myself back because of that. So
Mhm.
I'm in 23andMe. I did they do the percentages and show like
Mhm.
breakdown, and that's how I know my DNA matches most closely
Mm.
with Nigerians. And
Nice.
the Nigerians, if any of y'all are here,
Hey, Annie.
Nigerian friends, when I talk to them, I ask them
Mhm.
what
Dr. Ayo, Dr.
yeah,
Ayo,
and
and
they
Olu.
have Hausa, they have Igbo,
Mhm.
and they have
Yoruba.
Yoruba.
Mhm.
So I always ask them which one I look like I could be, and they all tell me the same Igbo. So Yeah,
Wow.
I'm excited to go out there
And check
and
it
to
out.
explore it. Yeah, see,
That is
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, that'll
That's
be awesome.
that's that's exciting.
Yeah,
So I think I had such a good time with you here. Let's see what time we got. Are we close to
it's
do
5:30. We still have
we
30
still we
minutes.
still got 30 minutes. Okay. Well then talk about all about finances. You're
Okay, all right.
the
So
maestro of finances.
yeah,
Let's hear it.
absolutely.
Let me pull up a chair.
So I'll give you the client experience. So we'll
Okay.
talk about
Hmm.
like the rules of money, for example.
Uh-huh.
So it's better if I had a chart because I don't want to confuse
You
people.
want a paper, pen and paper?
Uh,
Does
I
that
don't
help?
know. Can they see it if I do this? Yeah, I guess they can see it. All right, we can try it. I don't know if it'll be backwards though, will it?
That probably will. Yeah.
All right, so I'll just explain it
Okay.
in rough sense.
Mhm.
So I kind of touched on it already when I talked about index
Mhm.
accounts.
Mhm.
So with index accounts, what that is it's like being invested in the stock market,
Mhm.
but without the risk of losing money.
Mm.
So I'll give the analogy like with the 401k,
Uh-huh.
and let me be clear first before I even start talking
Mhm.
about 401ks and like policies. 401ks are not bad policies
Mhm.
if your company is matching you, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
If your company isn't matching you, it really doesn't make sense to put your money in a 401k
Mhm.
simply because your money is in the market.
Mhm.
And what that means is when the market goes down, you lose money.
Mhm.
When I think retirement, and correct me if I'm wrong, when I think retirement,
Mhm.
I think I'm putting money somewhere that's never going to lose money, right?
That's what I want.
Absolutely. You want the money to always be increasing.
Mhm.
So the problem with the 401k is the fact that it's in a volatile market
Mhm.
that can't be controlled. So it's good to have it if your company's matching you up to the percentage whatever your company is matching you. So if they match 5%, put no more than 5% in. If you
Mhm.
have extra percentages, put it into an annuity, put it into a cash value policy so that you have another stream of income growing for you
Mhm.
that's not going to have taxes attached to it. Now, if you do an annuity, you will have penalties if you try to pull the money out too soon.
Mhm.
But after 59 and a half, just like with the 401k, the annuity is good to go. So
Oh,
those
really?
are absolutely,
I didn't know that.
yeah, absolutely.
That's
And,
awesome.
and, and annuity are, they're pretty straightforward contracts. So a lot of people are more attracted to annuities because they're simple. They give you specifically what
Mhm.
is written in the contract,
Okay.
and that's important. Now,
Okay.
when it comes to cash value policies, that can get complex.
Mhm.
So that's why some people kind of stay away from those,
Mhm.
and they have to be. I can't stress this more enough. Cash value policies have to be structured right in order for them to perform the way the person wants it to perform.
Mhm.
So it has to be somebody who's going to be a professional
Mhm.
and look at it from the standpoint of the client
Okay.
specifically and center everything specifically around what the client wants
Mhm.
in order for it to work how they want. And
There you
it's
go.
I did research on people who've won the lottery because it's interesting. People who win the lottery, over 70% of them are broke within 10 years. And then I was in
Because they don't know what to do with the money, right? They
absolutely,
just spend it all.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And it's the same with so people who win the lottery, people who inherit money,
Mhm.
just. And then I was in a mentor's room
Mhm.
with, like, it was a bunch of mentors, and they were just talking about like money and how
Mhm.
it works.
Uh-huh.
And they said that if the wealth of the world was spread around evenly between every person in the world,
Mhm.
within the same 7 to 10 years, the money will be right back in the wealthy 1%'s pockets again.
Hmm.
Why is that, you think?
I don't know. That's interesting.
Financial education,
Mm.
financial literacy. The reason why
I gotta get educated.
we all do. We all do because when I came across this information, I was blinded to it as well.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's we don't know what we don't know.
Exactly.
So, that's why it's important for, as
What?
an agent, even though I have, go ahead, were you going to say
No, go
something?
ahead.
As an agent, even though I have certain knowledge about
Mhm.
things, I can't take that knowledge and put it in people's face like, I know this, and
Mhm.
you need to learn this.
Mhm.
I have to meet you where you are and
Mhm.
understand your situation. And some people have been scammed before, and
Mhm.
I have to be conscious of that fact
Yeah.
when I approach people and when I talk to people, so that I can understand where they're coming from and approach them accordingly,
Mhm.
so that they're
Yeah.
most comfortable with how I talk to them.
Yeah. I think people that have gotten scammed, it's like it's painful for them
It is.
to
Somebody took advantage of you,
and you gotta handle that with a empathetic. You're the right person for that.
Thank you so much.
Ersky.
You are too, though. You with what you do, you have a really calming voice. You make everybody at ease. So
Thank you, my
thank
friend.
you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, well, I wanted to add earlier that the reason people don't get into the financial education is it's because it's not something that has been ingrained in us in school because they don't even teach it at school, right?
Absolutely. But let's think
So,
about it from this standpoint.
hmm
And I did a video. It's called The Five Fingers of Life. So a lot of times, as parents, we push our kids into certain professions like
hmm
doctors, lawyers,
hmm
and then we have politicians, we have entrepreneurs. But what we fail to realize is what functions, those are all fingers. What functions as the thumb of all these professions is the money factor.
hmm
So I've done appointments and meetings with doctors, lawyers,
hmm
entrepreneurs,
hmm
with multiple businesses even.
uh-huh.
And one thing about all of them is that, you know, they they have to understand how the rules of money work
hmm
in order for them to really be secure in where they are in their businesses.
Excellent.
If they aren't, they're not. It's like having a foundation on leaves.
hmm
You have to have your foundation on something solid
hmm
so that you know that it's going to be it's going to be able to withstand anything.
The
Like
test
the
of time.
absolutely is that example, like the story I shared with the homeless gentleman.
Uh-huh.
If the unforeseen always happens, you can
hmm
get sick.
Yes,
So
exactly.
things can happen that aren't death, that
hmm
can be just as devastating to your finances.
hmm
So that's what wealthy people do. They put contingency plans in place
hmm
before the fact so that when it does happen, they're compensated for everything.
hmm
And that's how you make your money work for you. You're
hmm
the biggest asset. When I talk to people, I ask them,
hmm
what do you think is your biggest asset? They'll say their house, their car. Some people even say their phone.
hmm
But what's the common factor in all these things? You.
hmm
If you don't go out and work for it, you're not going to have any of those things.
Exactly.
So there's people walking around with insurance on their phones.
hmm
We have to have insurance on our cars and homes
hmm
by law. It should be the law that we have insurance on our lives because that's the obligation that we leave to
hmm
our families.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that when you pass away, your bills go to your next of kin.
Yeah.
They don't just evaporate. So
Yeah. And then I think that conversation has to be shared with the children that if something were to happen to me, this is how you're going to get the money, and the expenses for funeral and all of that is already paid for because of the insurance or annuities or whatever you have that to
absolutely,
cover that, and that way your family isn't struggling. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Right.
absolutely. Thank you for sharing that too, because that's so true. You, if you don't have like people who have to do GoFundMe, they
hmm
they typically average out to raising about $5,000 typically.
hmm
Funerals cost way more than that,
hmm
and we don't really factor in the fact that they're not leaving their family anything. You
hmm
know, your family's already grieving your loss. Uh, Being properly protected means knowing that your family is going to be okay for a substantial amount of time after you're gone. So we use what we call the dime method, right?
Okay.
So D stands for debt,
Mm-hmm.
I stands for your income times 10. So whatever you make,
10x.
times that by 10. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Your mortgage payments, if you have a mortgage, and then the education of your kids.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about the education of your kids, I want to touch on that real quick because some people have young kids.
Mm-hmm.
So when we factor in education, we have to also factor in inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Because just because education costs $35,000 a semester right now,
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to cost that amount
Yeah.
in 10, 20, 15 years from now. So
Mm-hmm.
when we do the dime method, we factor all those things in and we make sure that your family will be okay for 10 consecutive years
Awesome.
after you're gone. And then, just like you said, it's the importance of teaching them the value of money and what they need to do with it
Mm-hmm.
in the event of something happening to you, and also having good godparents or somebody who's going to be able to step in because it's all about contingencies,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
yeah,
So you got a plan. If you
we
don't.
always have to have a plan because life is unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
It was a story was shared with me about something that happened here in San Diego.
Uh-huh.
It was it was off of the 94, I believe. I don't know if you heard about it. A woman was speeding and lost control and drove over the bridge,
Mm-hmm.
and she fell and she instantly died.
Mm-hmm.
But she fell on top. Her Mini Cooper fell on top of a van.
Mm-hmm.
So these people were in their van, and just like that, they're gone.
Mm.
So just think, when they woke up that morning, they weren't expecting it to be in their van, and something drops on them and kills them.
Wow.
And then another example, I was coming home from work maybe 2-3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
There was a car upside down,
Wow.
right, like going onto the freeway loop.
Which one?
In La Jolla, the
52?
it's La Jolla Village Drive,
Okay.
that exit. So where those they look like Mormon churches.
Okay. Okay. So that's
Oh,
by.
they are Mormon churches,
Uh-huh.
but they look like castles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
kind of reminds me of the movie Kroll. Have you ever seen?
absolutely they do. Absolutely, yes.
I know what you're
So
talking
right
about.
around that area, there was a car flipped over
Oh
on
my
its top.
goodness.
And the first thing that came to my mind was like, wow, like I bet you they didn't think that was going to happen when they woke up this morning.
Mm-mm.
So, life is unpredictable. So, the difference between average everyday people and people who are wealthy are, wealthy people prioritize what's most important, what's going to generate income for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's them and their money.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have your money working for you, you're not outpacing inflation, you're not going to get to your financial goal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to know this and know, what type of tools are available so that you know what your options are. And then, having your goal set and being able to be accountable,
Mm-hmm.
to stay on task with your goal
Mm-hmm.
is just as important as well. They're all steps in, getting to that financial independence number, which we call the FIN number.
Mm-hmm. The fin?
FIN number, financial independence number.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about a fish.
Dolphin. That's my favorite team right there, Dolphins.
The Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins.
Oh yeah, because that's where you're from Florida.
I'm from Tampa originally.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
So this is a great conversation. Make sure that you connect with Erskine here because he has a lot of knowledge and he's a trustworthy individual and he wants to help people out. So how can people find you? Where can they find you?
I'm everywhere. And I'm going to link everybody to my different social sites. Most of them are under Mental Wealth Inc.
Mm-hmm.
So if you search on Twitter, for example, on Instagram, Facebook, I have Mental Wealth Inc. on all those. And then my name is kind of unique.
Mm-hmm.
So if you search Erskine Edwards on any of those social outlets as well, you'll more than likely pull me up as well. So yeah, that's pretty much how you connect with me. I
So
pretty much share my QR code as well.
okay,
That
cool.
has all my contact information on it.
And on the event today, what we could do afterwards is you could put all your information there, and that way people could look it up and get it from the comments.
Absolutely.
So that's another way to get the information.
If I can, I could just post my QR code because my QR
Yeah.
code has everything
You
on
could
it.
do that. You could
It's
do
my
that
business.
too.
Yeah.
Make it
So I'll do
easy.
that. Yeah, I'll make it super easy. So yeah, this has been really great. I had no doubt though, because this is what you do, you know.
I
That's
love
why I came to you with it and wanted to do it in person,
Mhm.
you know, because we have this LinkedIn community
Yes.
and you know, we're building here in San Diego, of course.
Of course.
So, you know, we have that task. So it's important that we meet up
Mhm.
and do these things every now and then, I think, hopefully.
I think it's
Hint,
cool
hint.
that yeah, definitely. This won't be the last time that we do this.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And we already talked about the Jacob Center, right?
yes.
Yeah, the Jacob Center would be a really amazing place to do it
Uh-huh.
because you know they have so many good resources there.
Mhm.
And I talked to Emilio tonight. I remember you told me
Mhm.
I should connect with him.
Mhm.
We had a really nice conversation. He's an awesome guy.
So
I'm
this
really looking forward to
see
working with him.
Erskine's a nice guy. He's already connecting with people on LinkedIn
Absolutely.
and helping people out.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question.
All right.
Well, yesterday I was in one of the rooms in Jason's room, and I really loved some of the questions that he asked. Um, uh, it has nothing to do with finances, but I
Okay.
kind of like the question. One of them was, if you can be any actor in any movie, what actor would you be, and why?
I'd be Samuel L. Jackson because it seems like Samuel L. Jackson is just himself in every movie. He makes the character him instead of vice versa. So I think that would be the best for me because then I wouldn't have to fake being somebody else, you know.
Because he's him. So, what movie is it that he was in that really inspired you, or that you liked him, or if there's a few, which ones?
Oh, definitely that one where he was the coach.
Mhm.
What was the name of that?
I liked it. I
Coach,
liked it. He came out in Pulp Fiction, right?
He did.
Correcto
Yes.
Mundo.
Yeah. That movie was hilarious, man. But I think it's called Coach Carter or something like that.
Okay.
That one was really an
I haven't
inspirational
seen
one.
that. I'm gonna have to watch it. I love those inspirational movies, and that's one of the things that I was in another room where we were talking about how to get motivated to do what you need to do,
Right.
and it's by surrounding yourself around inspirational people
Absolutely.
and watching inspirational movies or having those quotes and things right before you. So those types of things are inspiring.
And that's going back to the soil. Like if you're in the right type of soil,
Mhm.
then you're going to be exposed to the right type of environment to where you can grow and prosper the most.
Mhm.
Like you said, if you're not around positivity, then how are you going to be positive all the time?
Yeah.
It's eventually your environment is going to pull you down to where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And Ed Milet, I'm reading his book, The Power of One More.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent book. But he talks about how we cool the environment
Mm-hmm.
as we walk into a room. So whatever we're comfortable with, we kind of cool the environment to that. So we gravitate towards what's most comfortable for us.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, if we're at a networking event,
Mm-hmm.
we'll gravitate towards the people who we're naturally most comfortable with going to.
Mm-hmm.
He said now people who want to step outside the box and really experience growth, they'll go against their urge to go to that comfort zone and go to that person who looks like they don't really want to talk to you. And, just strike up a conversation with them. You never know what can happen.
I've done that before.
Absolutely.
And I've had some interesting things happen.
Yeah.
It was a lesson in patience for me.
Sometimes,
let me just say.
And I will say this, some people are long-winded,
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you'll start the faucet to going and they'll just flow,
Yeah.
and you'll end up sitting there listening to them for like 45 minutes before
Yeah.
you know it.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing, I think.
It is a good thing.
if you're not in time constraints, of course.
Yeah. If people are opening up to you, that is a good thing because that's how you build trust,
Absolutely.
right?
And a big
So,
part of communication is listening.
yeah.
And that's, I think, what we're losing track of in today's society, because there's so many distractions.
Yeah.
Everything is the distraction. Pop-ups here, uh, phone calls,
Mhm.
text messages, people walking by talking,
Mhm.
everything is going on at light speed. So, it's hard to focus on any one thing. So
Mhm.
it's just really important to even, I'm learning the importance of meditation,
Mhm.
just being able to reset and just sit down in a calm environment, breathe in, breathe out,
Mhm.
clear my mind, for like 5-10 minutes. And once
Mhm.
you come back strong.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that's important.
Breathing is important because I think a lot of us don't breathe right because we're always in a rush,
Absolutely.
right? We're
Hmm.
we're our culture is a rushed culture. Come on, let's
It
hurry up.
is.
Let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So,
that's why we experience so much trauma to our bodies and sickness,
mhm.
because we're always, putting so much work on ourselves, and stressing
Anxiety.
over anxiety and
Mhm.
stressing over where, the money's going to come for this or for that.
Mhm.
Those things all factor into our health.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
mental wealth is wealth isn't a number.
Mhm.
It's never been a number. It's a state of mind. It's a state of where you're uh, where you're at your most beneficial to everybody around you.
Mhm.
I'm not really a biblical person so much. I'm more spiritual,
Mhm.
but I just believe that, you know, and it's why I'm a community empowerment agent.
Mhm.
I believe that we're here to you know share what we have, our gift, with as many people as we can,
Mhm.
and make an impact on lives before we leave. We're all here to make the world a better place. We all have something inside of us that's unique, a gift that we're here to share with the world.
Mhm.
And some people share that gift sooner than other people. That's why we have the Kobe Bryants, the Princes, the Michael Jacksons, and the so forth, so on list of people who have passed away,
Mhm.
at early ages.
Mhm.
They just think of the impact that they made, and their names are gonna live on infinitely just because of the impact they made. Each of us have that inside of us as well. It's just about, are we gonna unlock that potential and bring it out and share it with the world? If we do that, abundance comes to us. And it's
Mhm.
not just about money, it's about influence,
Mhm.
being able to go where you want to go, talk to whoever you want to talk to, influence people to go in the right direction
Mhm.
just off of being around you. Those are things that are priceless.
Mhm.
You can't put a price tag on those things. So, being mentally wealthy is just, it's not a number.
Mhm.
It's a lifestyle, and that's what I'm looking to spread. And I can't do it alone.
Mhm.
I need to amplify my voice with people like my lovely sister here, Angelica,
Thank you.
and a lot of other people who I'm rubbing elbows. I mentioned Emilio.
Mhm.
It's so many other people, Masada, that
Yes.
I'm looking to lock arms with
Mhm.
and really make impact, massive impact in communities, not just here, but nationwide. We have to do this nationwide. We can't just think about one community and not the other. We have to be open and do this for everybody.
Mhm.
So that's my mission. That's my goal.
Mhm.
Inspire, enlighten, and empower.
Okay, that sounds awesome. I love how you ended all of that with that. And that's what you're doing. You're inspiring people. You're touching people's lives here because there's going to be a few people that look at this video, and we're going to share it on different platforms so other people
Thank you.
could learn about what you do.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah. The more
So
people, the merrier. I love it.
yeah, it's nice to be able to help others. So we still have some time. So i'm
Yeah,
gonna i'm gonna ask you
it's
another.
e time right now
we
at
it,
5 5s, at the 3 5s. What's the fifth letter of the alphabet?
Is it 5?
E.
Oh,
That's why every morning.
That's why you said it's E time.
Yeah,
Okay.
every time it hits that in the morning, because I start work at 6 o'clock. When it hits 5:55,
That's E
every
time.
morning I say E time, and I just like celebrate like E time. I'll be in my car
because
sometimes.
it's you, because you're Ersky.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so funny.
So that's celebrating me.
It's E
So
time.
I have 2 celebrations actually in the morning when I
Mhm.
go and do my run.
Uh-huh.
Because I honestly, I may start videotaping myself
You should.
just so people can know that I'm not lying.
Mhm.
But I get up every morning and I go out and I run around this
Mhm.
baseball track across the street from where I live. I
Mhm.
run around that baseball track. It's pitch black out there,
Mhm.
but it's fenced in. So I
Uh-huh.
take my dog Marley with me,
Mhm.
and he's running around doing this thing. I run around that field 10 times every morning.
Wow. How many miles is that?
I haven't really because my wristwatch broke on me.
Mhm.
So until I get that again, I can't really measure it.
Mhm.
But I'd say somewhere between 2 to 4 miles.
That's
So
great.
it's not too much, but
I-
it's good to get the blood going.
Oh no, that's good. Doing
Yeah.
that every day is really good. I used to do 3 miles a day,
Okay.
but I used to do them really slowly. I
Mm.
mean,
It doesn't matter how fast you go.
yeah,
It's just about doing. You can actually speed walk, and it's more effective than running sometimes
that's probably what I should
because it's
start
less
doing.
shock on your muscles.
It's time to do change this year. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be focusing on: finances, on exercise. So
That's
we got to cover
ongoing
all of
though,
that.
Angelica.
Yeah,
So change is ongoing.
change is
Finance,
ongoing.
yeah, it's
You got to
all
always be
ongoing.
on it. Yeah.
Absolutely, because the times are always changing.
Mhm.
With the rise of AI, we're gonna have to have a conversation about that as well, because investing in it is a good thing to do if you're involved in the right situation. So
Mhm. Mhm.
that's what's most important. But I get what you're saying. When you're pressured
Yeah.
into doing something, that's where the red flags come up for me too.
Yes.
When you're trying to tell me, oh, you have a deadline, you have to act now, or you're gonna miss the opportunity. I don't. Yeah, I'm like,
But sometimes it's true, right?
yeah, sometimes it is.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So I have one more question to ask before.
perfect.
So
We expected to go a little over too.
we're expecting you crack me up.
We kind of expected to go over. But,
Okay.
that's fine.
So this is another one of the questions that was asked, and that was, if there were aliens that came to Earth.
Wow. Okay.
This I know it's it's far fetched. What would be the first thing that you would tell them?
The aliens. We're peaceful. Can we communicate? Can we talk? I want to talk to them.
I'm dorky. I'm nerdy. I said I would say, live long and prosper, and do the Star Trek.
Spock was a human, right?
Yes.
Portraying the alien.
I love that show though.
Yeah, I loved it too.
All right, so here's the last question.
All right.
If you can meet anybody that is an author, that who would you want to meet, even if they're dead today, right? But if they were alive, who would you like to have dinner with, and why?
And it has to be an author.
It has to be an author.
Ah, darn. Because I have the perfect person, but he's not an author though.
Oh.
And he's not alive. But author, let me see. David Deirdre. He wrote. I believe that's his name. He's the one who wrote The Way of the Superior Man.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to have dinner with him simply because of the way, conceptually, The Way of the Superior Man, the way he structured that book is just so different than how I've ever seen anything explained, from a masculine and a feminine standpoint. So I would just be fascinated with sharing atmosphere with him and soaking up knowledge about, how his mind works and how he came up with that with the book, with the concept of the book, the examples and certain things that he went through
Mm-hmm.
that helped him construct the book. I would just like to hear those stories,
Mm-hmm.
because it's fascinating.
Yeah.
When we connect again, I'll have to share that book with you. You
Okay.
got to give it back to me. But I'll share the book with you. That it's really that profound. Like
Wow.
once you get the pages going,
Uh-huh.
it's hard to put down.
That's great.
It is.
I'm thankful that you shared that, my friend.
The Way of the
Erskine.
Superior Man. It's an amazing book. And that's what really I'm focused on right now, Angelica. I'm focused on self-development because if you're right on the inside,
Uh-huh.
then you'll reflect back the good that you want to see.
Uh-huh.
So
Definitely.
it's definitely worth the effort. If you want to do better, you have to really focus on self first.
Uh-huh.
You're your biggest asset.
Definitely.
So, if people don't really believe in you or trust in you, then that means that you're not at ease or at peace with who you are as a person. So you're not reflecting back what you want to see.
That's true. I
That's
like that. That's a good point.
absolutely. And this is me speaking from
Experience.
personal experience.
Yeah.
I experienced this, and that's why I'm personally focused on self-development.
Awesome. Well, we got Dr. New that has some comments. Love the books.
All right.
Love the bookshelves in the background.
All right. Which
Yeah.
books? Which book we want to take a look at this?
Let's get the Venice West.
Venice West. Venice West. Nice. Look at that.
That's nice.
What's it say? The beat. The beat generation in Southern California.
Okay, that's
Venice
poetry.
West.
That's about poetry, the beat poetry, I
Yeah.
bet. Charles Ham says, y'all are great. I'm listening.
Thank you, Charles.
Thanks, Charles. We're so glad that
Thank
you're
you, partner.
Yeah, we're pondering on you for being here with us. And go ahead if you want to say.
Charles, you're absolutely correct, and I did an audio room that touched on that where I talked about the $1 Million Baby, investing in insurance policy at 2 weeks old, because that's legally the earliest we can do it. Investing right then is the best possible time because you have so much life in that young person's life for that money to flip and double.
Wow.
And build that and grow that wealth for that young person. And, your family's going to benefit from that. So you're absolutely right, Charles.
Invest as soon as you can due to time value of money. Absolutely. Felipe. Hola, Angelica.
Hola.
Hi, Erskine. Edwards. Great to see you both together. Great to
Good to see you, Felipe.
Yes. It's been great listening to you both and seeing you together. IRL. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up what IRL means.
Maybe you'll put it in the chat. IRL.
And Felipe says, "Hi, Jackie Halberg."
Jackie's here. Welcome, Jackie.
So let's see. I think that's all that we could see right now of messages, right?
Yeah. What was you see? Jackie said something. Did you already?
Yeah, we already.
You're in person together. Yes, we are, Jackie.
You are in person together. Hi, guys. Yes. Yes, that's awesome. Well, I think that's all that I see in let me see if there's anything else. Oh, that was cool.
This was really amazing.
It was fun,
Thank
right?
you so much.
You're welcome. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
the hour went by so fast.
It did.
It seemed like we was at 30 minutes, one minute, and then now we're 4 minutes over.
We don't want to keep you guys, so we're going to close the room. But
thank you all so much.
Yes. Thank you for listening. We love you guys.
Love y'all. Share with your network, please.
Yes.
Yes, and connect with me. Connect with Angelica if you haven't either already too.
Yes, please. And connect with each other.
Yes.
So Erskine's going to put his information afterwards on the event, under the event page, and that way you guys could connect with him and he could give you the resources that you need.
Absolutely.
So we love you all. And
love you.
Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.